Welcome back, Guardians. My name is Easy now and you guys are awesome. But what is awesome is challenge mode for the King's Fall raid. So we know that they are bringing out some kind of challenge mode for the future. Now what is that? That means that certain bosses in the raid are going to have to be killed in a certain way for you to be rewarded with whatever they wish to reward us with. But we do know there are 3 emblems and 3 calcified fragments missing. So I'm going to go through the emblems and then I'm just going to give my ideas on what sort of challenges we might see and the possibility of better rewards than we have seen in the raid so far. So first and foremost, the first emblem is the Devourer of Light, and it is a little spider emblem and some webs across the back. This leads me to believe that this emblem will come from Golgoroth himself. So Golgoroth is like a spider ogre type thing, which leads me to believe that that is what it is. Or it could also be from the War Priest, because it's the Devourer of Light, and when he uses his monolith and oculus, you know, there's big light blasts, maybe it's something to do with that. But the second emblem is called Worm God's Servant, which could also equal the same to Golgoroth. I'm not quite sure who the Worm God's Servant would be, but it seems like that might be a possibility too. And then the last one, of Light and Hunger, would equal Oryx, as it has Oryx actually on the background. So I think the 3 bosses for the challenge mode will be War Priest, Golgoroth and Oryx himself. Upon completing the challenge, you will be receiving the calcified fragment and the actual emblem at whichever boss drops whichever emblem. But I don't think that is all that we will see in terms of rewards. Now it's hard for me to say and pinpoint what rewards they may give us, but imagine that if you were to do this challenge mode flawlessly across one raid and do all 3 challenges, they might reward you with primary elemental weapons. Now I know Luke Smith has claimed that primary elemental is making its way out of Destiny to stop weapons becoming so relied upon. But imagine for a second that the reward for the challenge mode might be some primary elemental damage weapons. Other than that, there's also other things they can throw into the mix. Let's say exotic sparrows, or just new sparrows in general, to have different shapes, different styles, different looks, to let everyone have their own unique sparrow. Maybe even a sparrow that might do something special, different to the other sparrows, or just be faster. Who knows? But I would definitely love to see new sparrows available to us to do new things, just to, you know, keep the interest in the game by having something unique and something different for people who can actually complete these challenges. Feel free to let me know what you think might be rewards for each challenge from each boss going forward with the challenge mode. That'd be awesome. Hit the comment section hard. What I want to talk about though is possible challenges we might see per boss. So first let's start with the War Priest. Now for me, a challenge for the War Priest might be something like to not use supers while fighting him. That means resurrecting, no tethers, no bubbles, and nothing of that sort. Or maybe you have to lower your light level, or in the challenge mode he might take some of your light level to make you incredibly weaker, which means you might have to do more than a 2 run. You might have to do all 4 possible moments of putting damage on War Priest and end up killing him. Maybe you have to use certain weapons to do that as well. Also maybe like everyone has to use hand cannons. That would be a real challenge. Or maybe just something as simple as having to use the actual blocks of stone in a certain order, maybe mixing it up with not being able to use supers either. I can't really pinpoint anything that you could do with the War Priest that could be a major challenge, because he seems so easy at the moment. Maybe pop 2 War Priests out, imagine that, that'd be hilarious. But let's move on to Golgoroth. What could his challenges be? So when you make a mistake, or someone dies, or someone doesn't capture the gaze, the totem behind Golgoroth lights up when you make a mistake. Now, I'm not quite sure because I don't really usually look at the totem, but with our gaze grabbing, the final gaze grab after the 6th bubble will always fail, all the time. And I don't know whether that adds on to an extra light onto the totem, but regardless of that, maybe the challenge is to not fail on that 6th one somehow. Maybe there's some kind of secret mechanic. There's also been people who have spotted in the bottom left hand corner of their screen saying a relic has appeared randomly in Golgoroth. That could be a glitch, or maybe it could be foreshadowing what the challenge mode might be. Some people have said going invisible stops that from happening, where you fail the gaze grab. But maybe, just maybe, it might be something like doing Golgoroth in just 1 round of 6 bubbles and absolutely destroying and killing him. That's putting the maximum damage on with every single person possible and somehow surviving the ads. There's also the possibility of challenge mode incorporating certain types of weapons to use, and again no supers, but I feel like that would be only for one boss maybe, instead of reincorporating it through every single boss. Maybe the challenge mode will also include, from start to finish of the raid, no one is allowed to die. That means on jumping patterns too. So maybe like only the challenges that you complete are rewarded once you have finished the entire raid from start to finish without dying. That would be incredible. Maybe there's a challenge in the actual Golgoroth fight to not take any damage from Golgoroth directly, meaning the people who are gaining the gazes when the orbs are firing at, and they have to shoot every single orb and not take damage from Golgoroth himself. But let me know what you think his challenges might be. And last but not least, we have Oryx. Now, Oryx is quite a difficult one because it's actually all based on the mechanics of the fight that are happening. So the only thing that I can think is what's already been done, where you don't set off the bombs every time, where you get all the bombs together and then you set them all off in the last run. Doing that on hard would be quite difficult in my opinion. Again, flawless runs and no supers comes into mind when it comes to challenge mode. There could also be something as simple as not being able to take any damage while in the teleportation bubble when you're fighting a Shade of Oryx, because Thralls get in and they just hit you and take a little bit of damage off. A challenge could be that nobody in your fire team is allowed to take damage in that room, including when the Shade of Oryx slams her sword. We always call her, I'm not sure why, but when she slams her sword, someone might take damage. So maybe one of the challenges would be not to get damaged within that bubble. Let me know what you think about challenges across the board. What would you like to see as a challenge? What do you think might be implemented? Hit the comment section hard. Hit the like button even harder. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next video.